Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. A better yet a Sanketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a light fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley doc eating by the mouthful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Pull the Trigger on a podcast. The podcast where everybody's just on a great trip to the Kansai area. Just an amazing trip, even though, there's war all around us. I'm Fire Princess Lily, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Doc Sea Monster. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
I'm great. I've had 2 monsters, and I'm ready to talk about what might be my favorite episode in the series.
Really?
It's just a lot of fun. It's got a lot of it's got good moments for all the characters. It's hard to pick a favorite because again, the whole series is really good, but this is one at least my favorite. One of my favorite parts of the series. Like this arc is my favorite part of the series.
Gotcha. So
like this next run of 2-3 episodes.
I gotcha. So, what's been going on since we last recorded?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Let's see. I did some online magic earlier this week. That was good.
Good deal.
People were having we're using Spell Table, which is a new program which is designed entirely for online magic, but we had a few glitches and some phones running out of battery, but we're working on it.
Good deal.
Let's see. Also, let's see. I'm still working my way through the MCU with a friend. We're up to. We just did Infinity War on Thursday or Wednesday, I think. We did Infinity War on Wednesday.
Nice.
And we've got Ant-Man the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and Endgame up for next week. And we also did Spider-Verse. We also stopped and did Spider-Verse on Thursday.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
You gotta do Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Not MCU, but it's still extremely good movie.
Right.
Honestly, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Spider-Verse is probably better than the average MCU movie.
Yeah, easily.
Is it better than most of them? Maybe. But
is it better than all of them? Yes.
I wouldn't say that. But it is an extreme. It's probably the best. It's definitely better than the Spider-Man movies we've gotten. But I do have a really soft spot in my heart for the Amazing Spider-Man 1 because it's very much Spider-Man as I was introduced to the character, and then like during the '90s cartoon show. It was very much in line with that. So that one hits me really personally.
I see.
And it's an awful shame that movie never got a sweet sequel. Because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were both really good, and awful shame we never got to see any more movies in that series.
Well, we have the 2.
I don't know what you're talking about. We have 1.
No, we have 2, and the second one. The second one's good.
No.
Don't even stop being like everybody else. The second Amazing Spider-Man movie was actually good. It gets a little weird at the end with the whole Rhino thing, but it's an actually good movie that does tell a story that the original 3 Spider-Man movies didn't have the heart to tell.
Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't hate it when I watched it. I still really like Andrew Garfield. I love Dane DeHaan. Dane DeHaan was fantastic in it, even through weird makeup and a bad costume.
Yeah, the costume for him was not great.
And that and like there's never been a version of Spider-Man where Peter Parker and Harry Osborn have definitely fucked before. And I think that was I don't I'm sure it wasn't intended, but like that's definitely what the actors intended by those performances, and I am here for it. Um, there's parts of it I liked, but it's also parts of it. There's parts that I didn't like. Jamie Foxx was okay.
I liked him as Electro.
Yeah. Um, like I will make the joke that we never got a sequel to the first one, but like I, it's not like it's the worst movie ever. It's just I wasn't quite what I would have wanted in a sequel.
Mm.
Let's see. I bought a pack of Magic cards at Walmart the other day, and I got a card I really wanted. Let me explain why this is important. I live in Houston, as I've mentioned before, which means I lived through Hurricane Harvey, and a bunch of my Magic cards actually got destroyed in the flooding.
Oh.
Like my mother's whole apartment got messed up. She got most of the stuff like up off the floor, but there was a box of cards and decks on the floor in the closet that she didn't know about.
Right.
And it's really the only thing that really got lost in the flooding for me personally. And I know it's really minor, but like it's a lot of things with sentimental value.
Right.
So I'm not like, oh, poor me, I lost a couple $100 worth of Magic cards, but you know, it's a thing. It still kind of sucks. But anyway, I had a card. There was one card that I really liked. It's Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, which is a skeleton, which is a Phyrexian undead dragon, legendary.
Mm-hmm.
It's super cool card. It's got Infect. If you know what that Infect means, it means it deals damage as poison counters. You know how poison works?
Yeah, kinda.
If you take 10 poison counters, you lose automatically.
All right.
So whenever Skithiryx hits you, you automatically get 4 poison counters. And it's pretty nice card. And I kind of always wanted to replace it, but it was like a $40 card, and I'm not going to drop $40 on a single card. Even when I had the money to do something like that, it just wasn't something I did.
Right.
But actually, it just got reprinted in the new big reprint set, and like copies are down to like $20. But still, I did get my copy,
mm-hmm.
and I'm real happy about that.
There you go.
I have a deck to put it in and everything.
Very nice.
Started watching The Umbrella Academy.
What do you think?
I like it. I'm only a couple episodes in, but I really like where they're going with it. I really want to see where they're going with it. The characters are all really engaging. The kind of the bitter family members dynamic is not what I'd call fun, but it's engaging.
It is engaging. I'd say it's fun. I think the show takes it in fun places.
I'm still like, I'm still in like the first episode. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I see. Yeah.
But there's definitely been some funny moments, and I like what they're doing with it.
You haven't gotten to the fun dysfunctions.
Right. Exactly. And then that's what I'm doing.
Nice. Sounds like you had a pretty busy week. In comparison to like your normal weeks, where you're just like, nothing happened.
There's nothing to do during the pandemic.
I mean, but, you gotta make your own fun.
And I do, the thing I don't talk about on, I don't really talk about on recording is I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Like I like video essayists. I watch a lot of LeftTube, which I am not going to say BreadTube because BreadTube is dumb, and even they don't call themselves BreadTube. It's like a nickname people do.
Yeah.
It's like Philosophy Tube is really good. Thought Slime is great. I've gotten into Thought Slime lately. They're great. I watch videos about D&D. I watch videos about magic. Listen to a lot of music on YouTube. Overly Sarcastic Productions. They're great. They do history and mythology, and that's a ton of fun. Crash Course. Crash Course is good. Like, and I do this probably more than I should, but the thing is, it's most of these things are like 15 minutes long, and I have I can have a 15-minute attention span.
Right.
And I can. It's very. It's. I want to say this, but I'm not meaning it in a dismissive way. It's very digestible. Like I can watch it, I can engage with it, I can like take it in, but then I can like be done with it, and like, you know, do something else, or, you know. But like talking about YouTube videos I like is not very engaging for the podcast, so I don't usually go into detail about it. I caught up on our podcast.
Nice. I mean, I finally uploaded all the episodes, so
yes, you uploaded like 4 episodes. You uploaded 4 episodes in 2 days, and I watched all those, and that was good.
Well, I mean, the problem is, my brain, sometimes, when I think about doing something, my brain will register it as me having done it. So I'll be like, I should upload the episodes of the podcast, and I'm a little behind. And my brain's like, yeah, you should do that. And then I won't do that. I'll be like, oh, wasn't I going to do that? And my brain's like, yeah, but you thought about it real hard. And so that's like doing it, so you did it.
I think that's all of us sometimes.
So, that is just how it goes. Anything else you've been up to? I'm sorry, I kind of just jumped right there.
No, I'm just existing rather happily at the moment.
Nice.
Had run my D&D games for the week. That went good. They're fighting rifles possessed by Confederate ghosts from hell. It's been a blast for everybody.
That's great.
And I got to have a necromancer say the line, "They always said the South would rise again. I assisted."
Woof.
Yeah, just they're getting to beat up Confederate ghosts, which is fun.
That's always fun.
One of my players used the spell Spiritual Guardians to summon Union spirits to assist the party.
That's great.
That was fantastic. A+. He got inspiration immediately. And I don't give out inspiration as much as I should, but like that was definitely a moment that deserved one. How about you? What have you been doing?
What have I been up to? You know, same old with me. I'm just working during the pandemic, having to pay for licensing that my job requires me to have, so I feel like they should pay for it. I mean, you know, but my job will be quick to tell you, oh, but we give out free uniforms. Yeah, welcome to 1990. Who doesn't give out free uniforms? Stupid. It's just like these little things. I feel like if your job requires you to have something, not like a college degree or whatever, that's on you because that's what you're specializing in, right? That's what you chose to do. But if I need, like, let's say, if I need a special certification, not necessarily certification, but certain like clearance, my job requires me to have certain clearance. Like if I need like a certain background check to get me that clearance, you should have to pay for that if you're employing me, because I wouldn't need it otherwise, right? It's not something that I
My
need.
job pays for all that for me.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
There's a lot of background checks and like um, uh, licensing involved because I work with children.
Makes sense. Well, I'm glad they pay for that. My job wouldn't. So they don't even pay for the class you have to take to get the job. You have to pay for that. Because apparently their excuse is, well, you could take the class and like quit the next day and then get a job somewhere else. It's like, okay, then what you do is you put a moratorium on it, and if somebody quits within like 3 months, they owe you for the class. That would be the smart thing to do. But no, everybody just pays for it.
There's ways to do things that don't screw people over, but this is capitalism, so
Yeah.
we don't do.
It is true. It is capitalism. Watched all of Glitch Techs in one night. I just went all in. Glitch Tech Season 2 came out, so I'd already watched Season 1. I don't want to sound like I'm crazy. I mean, but I did watch all of Season 2 in one sitting because I just couldn't stop. Because the animation on that show is really good, and it's a whole lot of fun. If you're not watching Glitch Techs, one, you should, because it's good. Two, you should, because if you don't, they're going to cancel it, and then I won't get a Season 3, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I will personally blame everybody who hasn't watched this. Just letting you know. Coming for you. Let's see.
We love our audience, but we won't hesitate to hold them responsible for things.
Yep, I'll break my foot off. As much as I can. Let's see. The Owl House is getting real good. They just had, a couple weeks ago they had some really gay episodes. But this week they had a really sad episode, and everybody's heartbroken. So, that's fun. Jeez.
Did one of the gay people die?
No. Well, I don't know Ida's sexuality.
One of the two main couple.
No.
Okay, I don't want to hear anything else because I am. Our House is on my list, but I have not watched it yet, so do not.
Okay.
Go.
We won't get into spoilers then. Because
all I know is it involves a character who has your name.
Yeah, just make me feel real bad about my name. Thanks, Lilith. Anyway, let's see. Can't really talk about wrestling because the main wrestling show I watched, well, that happened today. It's happening right now. They're in their last 30 minutes because of basketball. Basketball has sort of pushed things out of the way. And so they had to do their show tonight instead of on Wednesdays normally. So Wrestle Corner is sort of not happening exactly, we'll say.
If you would like your weekly update for wrestling from Fire Princess Lily and Doc, please check out our Gravity Falls podcast.
Yeah,
which we record on Mondays. So the wrestling that is not talked about here is talked about there.
Exactly.
And you should be listening to our Gravity Falls podcast anyway, because it is more of us. And if you like us, you can have more of us.
You can have more of this. This is great. I will say this about wrestling, about the company that I don't even watch. WWE has revealed their Thunderdome, which is the audience is made up of screens and people paying money to be on those screens to watch wrestling. And that sounds entertaining as heck because I can't wait until there's a report of somebody who logs in and they have a terrible internet connection. And so they're reacting to everything like 2 minutes too late. That'd be really great. Just like reacting real loud. It would be amazing. Just like a silent crowd and all of a sudden somebody's yelling out, yeah! Just like real loud. Love it. Love the thought of it. Awkward. Also, they have banned T-shirts from other wrestling promotions being on your screen. And if you get caught wearing, like, let's say, an Impact shirt or an AEW shirt, they will fine you. They will fine you money. So you have to pay, I think, like $100 to be a part of the Thunderdome. And if you get caught with the wrong shirt on, they'll charge you money. So you pay for the privilege of potentially getting fined. Good times. I will say, though, I think it's a kind of a dumb idea, but I do think it's a better idea than what the company I do watch is going to do next week. They're going to do limited ticket sales for live audiences next week. And they're in Florida. That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea anywhere right now, but it's a really bad idea in Florida. Florida's just like, not good. I mean, they're going to do, it's limited tickets so that they can spread people out as much as they possibly can to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. It is in an open air arena, so, you know, there are precautions. It's hard to catch it, like, out in the open, but I still don't like it. Still not good. Does not leave a good feeling in my stomach. I think they should just stuck to their wrestler crowd, but hey, you know what? They're going to do what they're going to do. We'll just have to see how it goes, and hopefully they don't all die. That's all I can say. Yeah. And that... the only other thing I'd like to talk about is Ben Shapiro for just a second. So if you've been paying attention to the internet at all, everybody's been kind of burning Ben Shapiro because he doesn't understand what wet-ass pussy means. You dummy. Because he just admitted that, you know, that his wife never gets that, which basically means he's never really sexually gratified his wife ever in his life, and his wife has convinced him that it's a medical condition because she just, you know, it's a medical condition to get wet, I guess.
I think Ben Shapiro has a public humiliation kink.
He might, because he just came out and said, you know what, the endless parade of jokes about me and my wife, you think that bothers me? Not one bit. My wife and I both know there's much more important things to the marriage than sexual satisfaction. So rather than saying, oh no, I totally know what I'm doing, I can get my wife off. Or just say, no, my wife, you know, enjoys having sex with me. You know, he doesn't have to, like, be crude or anything. He just decided to double down and say, you're right, I can't sexually please my wife, and what are you going to do about it? Nothing. I'm just going to laugh at you.
Yeah. Like, my partner is ace, and we have a healthy, intimate relationship. Like, like, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that, like, there's different kinds of intimacy, and people have different needs. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you can't completely discount physical intimacy.
No, I don't think you can. But
yeah, Ben Shapiro does not. Speaking of Ben Shapiro, can we briefly talk about people and his fucking sister?
I mean, that people have the hots for his sister for some reason.
Yes, I mean, it's not. I mean, yes, she's pretty. She's like.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of good looking. She kind of just looks like him. I'm not attracted to him.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, she's just like
looks like him if girl, and that's the only part that's kind of attractive to me is the girl part. But
yeah, I think she looks a lot like Jenny Slate, and I think Jenny Slate is cute. But she's nice looking. She's curvy. But uh, she's also only slightly less right wing than her brother is,
Yeah,
and
that
she's
that
way
part is not attractive at all.
and she's way into like trad wife stuff, which is a
Ugh.
whole fucking mess. And like that is not that no bueno. Like, yeah, sure, you think she's cute, whatever, but like that ain't it, dog.
That ain't it. You know who you should be attracted to, who's related to Ben Shapiro? Um, oh my gosh, why did that name just escape me? It's the person who played Matilda,
Yeah, Mara Wilson is like his
Mara
cousin.
Wilson. Holy shit! Why did I forget Mara Wilson's name? She's so cute.
Yeah,
God,
Mara Wilson.
I,
Mara Wilson's quite cute.
but okay. Coming back from that defeat, you should be attracted to Mara Wilson. She's gay and she hates Ben Shapiro. It's like perfect. That's just cute. Boom. Uh, you want to talk about Kill la Kill?
I'd love to. Like I
Yeah.
said, this is one of my favorite episodes in the series.
This week we watched episode 14, Ride Like the Wind. Pretty good episode. I like it. I think Ryuko has like one of her best outfits in the series during these episodes.
Yeah, when she's got like the scarf, the glasses, it's not really a tracksuit.
It's kind
Exactly.
of a tracksuit.
It's kind of a tracksuit. She gets this red motorcycle from apparently nowhere.
From nowhere. Which is
Unless
good.
Peraza stole another one. Which is entirely possible.
Absolutely. But yeah, I like this a lot better than some of her other. It just looks cool.
It's also very Kamen Rider.
Yeah, there's that too.
Like I've mentioned before that like Kill la Kill takes some hints from Toku and Tokusatsu, and this outfit is very Kamen Rider.
So we open on a starfield and just Sanketsu pleading for his life. And then he's shredded apart. You were about to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. This is a nightmare that Ryoko's having. She wakes up, she screams for Sanketsu. She's just laying on this couch in her underwear. And Mitsusugi from off screen says, "Good grief, how many times am I going to have to tend to you after you've passed out?" He makes a joke about her becoming a nudist like him, and she's like, "Look, buddy, I am not here for your shit." She got the scissor blade right on him. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, but so who did this to you?" And she's like, "It was Nui. Nagito was Nui." And he's like, oh, okay, that's what happened. That's why that file disappeared last time. She's like, "You found me unconscious?" Like, "Yeah, and if I had arrived any later, you had probably been arrested by the police for indecent exposure." And she's like, "You have a death wish?" He's like, "Wow, you are in a mood." She's like, "Yeah, I lost Sanketsu. Of course I'm in a mood." He's like, "To Nui? You lost him to Nui?" And he's like, "Yeah, he was chopped to bits by her." Like, of course, who else would have done it, man? She's like, "I was weak and I couldn't sum up any of my power, so I lost." She hears Sanketsu's voice say that, he's like, no, I'm still here. She thinks it's Mitsusugi making a lame impression, a joke at her expense. This goes back and forth a couple times before he finally pulls out a piece of Sanketsu, and it's his eyeball. And she's very happy to see it. She's like, "Oh my god, you're alive." And he's like, "Yeah, only because you held on to me so tightly." She's like, "Where's the rest of you?" Like, every part of you was just missing. And Mitsusugi's like, "That was it. That's the only part that was there when I found you. You're just clutching to that scarf real tight." Sanketsu reveals that the remains of his shredded up body have been divided amongst the school raid trip students by Satsuki. And so Ryoko's like, the rest of you is in Kansei? It's like, yeah. It's like, alright, then that's where we're going. Fuck Sasuke always fucking true with me. Then we get the red motorcycle and this cool track suit outfit where she's just wearing a big Sanketsu scarf. And
yeah, it's like the only part. It's like the red scarf part. That's like his eye. It's the only part like she managed to hold on to.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I think honestly, the rest of the series could just be this outfit and it'd be awesome. It's not going to be, but I'm just saying.
No, it's a cool outfit.
Motaro shows up. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing out here, Mr. Mitsuki?" To which Mitsuki says, "I'm no longer a teacher. I'm giving up that life. It's time to go back to my old life. I bid farewell to my cover identity as the homeroom teacher from Hinnouji Academy, Class K, and return to being my normal self, a splendid naked officer of the nude warriors of nudist beach, who to do battle against the threat of life fibers." He strips down to just his underwear in front of Motaro, who is a child.
Motaro needs an adult.
Motaro needs an adult. It's like, all right, let's begin. He snaps his fingers, calling for the nude shooting star, and out pops a car, which almost hits Motaro. But he drives off. And Motaro's like, what the fuck was that? We didn't get the title card and go into the title sequence, which we always skip. We just skip it. We cut back in on the raid trip. They're dividing into 3 different lines across the highway and going to 3 different areas of the Kansai district. Prefecture. Sorry. We cut over to Satsuki, who's watching a presentation. Like, all of the divided parts of the Kamiseki have been divvied up among students who seem to have, a strong resistance to life fiber. That way they can use just this boost from the Kamui without going crazy. And Sasuke's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We cut over to Kyoto, which is the first place, then Kobe, and then finally Osaka. This is the 3 schools that will be, rated against by the Hinnouji Academy.
Yeah. Now I want to say, now as our listeners might know, Kansai regional accents, when they're dubbed for English, are often changed into other regional accents.
Yeah.
As a side effect, the character from Sailor Moon, which was given a New York accent. Okay, like Brooklyn accents are pretty common, or Brooklyn accents used to be more common, but since as a side effect of most anime dubbing being done in Texas, a Texan accent is often used, but not exclusively.
I've only ever listened to this in the original Japanese audio.
But yeah, so in the dub, a lot of the Kansai characters have funny accents and way of speaking, and it's honestly pretty great. The dub is very faithful for Kill la Kill, but they take a few kind of snarky liberties, kind of the way it's very similar in tone to the Yu Yu Hakusho dub.
I see. I gotcha.
So like the liberties they do take are minor, but totally consistent.
Gotcha. So Gamagori is in whatchamacallit. Gamagori is in Kobe.
Kobe, yeah.
Nananon is in Kyoto.
Yep.
And that leaves Sakayama in Osaka. God, I just said those names. What the hell's wrong with me? And the only one not at an area is Imamura, who's like, part of the people like cutting tethers to like information and the net, just keeping everybody on lockdown in that regard. That's his role. He's like, all phone and net connections have been managed and cut off. Sasuke's like, good. The operation success will be in place. The operation success all depends on this. Let's begin the Tri-City School raid trip. Automation commence. Commence operations. And everybody pulls out to go, attack their various schools. We start in Kobe, which their school looks like a big ship. and in front of the Kame Kobe High School Armed Faction Alliance is Kyuji Obayashi, and he's kind of dressed like a Bozoku biker, which I like.
Yeah, he's got the bancho look going.
Yeah, the bancho look. It's really great. It's one of my favorite looks in all of anime. And next to him is another part of the faction, Kenta Sakurayama. Whatever. Kenta's next to him. And behind them are just like a bunch of like muscle biker guys. And he's like, let's go. Movtail cocktails cut loose. And just a slew of Movtails go flying over these people. And then we cut back over to them being thrown at the trucks, and then back over to them jumping out in football uniforms with like no jersey. It's just the pads and like the pants.
They don't have pants either. They have like underwear.
I mean, those are the pants for football.
No, they're like wearing briefs.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's how football pants look. We both went to Texas high schools. We've both seen a lot of football pants, I assume. I mean, I have. I was in the band, so you know. This is how they look.
All right. Well, honestly, you would. Honestly, I didn't go to high school, so you probably know.
Oh shit, that's right.
No, it's cool. I'm not mad. It's just like, you know, you're probably right. I have watched vanishingly few. I have not watched a ton of football.
Yeah, the designs on the crotch are a little weird, but yeah, that's what the pants look like.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why they're not wearing jerseys though. It's weird. Probably because the show is just on horny a lot.
Yeah.
So this was for somebody. It's just not for me. But they're like, we got help from an American school too. Haha. We'll drive them out with the power of the Armed American Football Corps. Gamagori is like, yeah, whatever. I'm Gamagori, of Hinnouji Academy, Tri-City School Raid Trip, the Kobe Region School Raid Trip Brigade Leader, and we're gonna fucking take you down. We're gonna, we're gonna engage your. If you're gonna engage in armed resistance against us, we're gonna retaliate in kind. Enhanced disciplinary committee members deploy, and it's just a bunch of dudes in yellow tracksuits. And they have the rule book for the Hinnouji Academy like in their hand. The Kobe guys are like, "This is dumb. We're gonna beat the hell out of you with our awesome football armor." And so they charge. They're doing a cool. They're going for a shoulder tackle when the disciplinary committee just starts throwing their books. They're like, all their heads get snapped back, and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck?" To which Gamagori is like, To a student, school regulations are heavier than stone. The Hinnouji Academy's rule book, which is harder. It's like what the rules inscribed in there are as heavy as steel. The Hinnouji Academy school regulations are as steel. They're ironclad rules. Do you think your like football armor could even stand up to such ironclad rules? I think not. Taste our full metal disciplinary guidebook regulation hurricane. And they just keep throwing rule books, and they crack the football armor with these rule books, leaving these men in sneakers and tidy whities. It's terrible. Gamagori stands over and is like, "Do you see the might of Hinnouji Academy? This is the might of the student council president Sasuke Kuren." And we cut right over to Nananan, who's in Kyoto. They're raiding a very ancient looking building. Well, it's made to look like this. It looks like an old like Japanese building. It's an academy with a big old pentagram drawn in the center. Nananan's confused because nobody seems to be around. And that's when the pentagram lights up, revealing a voice saying, "Hey, welcome warriors of the East. This school has stood for 1,000 years here in the ancient capital, and it will not fall to you. This is the linchpin of Kyoto's defenses. If you wish to avoid a painful fate, be gone from here at once.
Is having none of it.
She's having none of it. They're like, if you fail to do this, we'll baptize you in a flood of demons and monsters. But she's like, what the fuck ever. It's not like your school has actually stood for 1,000 years. This is when monsters, quote unquote, start attacking the Hinnouji Academy students, and they start running around being real fucking scared, which is weird to me. Like, I know she's not Gamagori, but you'd think she'd have her portion of the students in line, because it's still Nananon, and out of all the Elite Four, I would want to piss her off the least. That's just me. She's got a real hair trigger temper on her.
Like we have established before, Nananon is like Gamagori is like his whole thing is like hard ass, and Sanagiyama is like the most who's just like a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But Nananon is the most violent and belligerent one. Like you could probably reason with Gamagori or Sanagiyama.
That you can reason with Gamagori because Ryuko and Mako have done so on multiple occasions.
Well, yeah, I mean, Gamagori, Gamagori you can reason with.
He's a man of reason.
Yeah. Sanagiyama has like honor, and you could probably surrender to him.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it's I don't. But Nanonon's just an asshole.
Nananon is just that asshole. She will beat your ass. But we're introduced to the 4 Guardian students of this academy. Guardian student of the North, Taro Ginbu. And he's got a turtle shell and he's got a turtle monster. Guardian student of the South, Jiro Sazuka. Guardian student of the East, Sarabo Shinryu. And what's interesting to note about these students as I'm introducing them, one has a phoenix, the Shinryu has a dragon, and the last one has a white tiger. These are all
Tiger.
Huh?
Yeah.
These are all ancient legends, the guardian spirits of
That's the
of
4
Japan. The 4 guardians of the 4 directional guardians of Japan.
Yeah. Also, all of these people who are students, they all look like they're in their 30s or 40s.
They look super old.
One of them has a full beard.
One of them does have a full beard. But the guardian student to the west is Shiro Bakyo, and that's just the names of the 4 guardian spirits.
Yeah.
But they're like, do you see this? This is Divine 4 formation, the impenetrable defense of the Abikamo Academy. You better just get the fuck out of here. You cannot defeat it, you Kanto barbarians. Nanonon's like, what are you talking about? These are just illusions. This is dumb. I hate this. Everybody, come on. Get on your fucking feet and fight back. Everybody's still freaking out. And she's like, what the? This is stupid. But Iwamura shows up in hologram form. He's like, oh, this is super fascinating. Would you mind if I fought them for a while? She's like, Iwamura, I thought you were in Osaka. What are you doing here? He's like, this is just a hologram projection made by the film club. It is. He's like, hey, Armed Arts Division, could you help me out here? We're going to create a non-illusion. We're going to create some kind of space that's going to make this shit go away. Sorry, I'm not good with words.
Non-Euclidean.
Non-Euclidean, there we go. And he starts doing a weird sort of...
Non-Euclidean is not a word that means what anybody thinks it means.
I don't even know what it means.
I can go. It's not important right now.
Okay. But he starts doing a paradoxical hand drawing hologram, which starts spinning around rapidly, and he throws this, and it shatters the guardians of the directional guardians of Japan, and they're like, "Oh no, our barrier! It's impossible!" It's Escher's topology attack. And Nana's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, the divine formation employs a geomagnetism to envelop this location in special electromagnetic waves, thereby causing disruptions in the nerve signals of the human brain. The picture they drew altered this area's phase space and disrupted its geomagnetism. That attack he did. And that's how in short, they have negated their barrier. And Nana's like, I don't fucking care. But I guess it takes one obnoxious jerk to beat a bunch of other obnoxious jerks. And everyone was like, fine, then you shouldn't have any problems now. And he just disappears. Oh, well, he doesn't disappear. One of the turtle guys like, that's fine, you know what? I don't care about your strange word. You leave us no choice but to fight. And then a bunch of people with actual, like, naginatas, which is a kind of polearm weapon.
It's basically a katana blade on a stick.
It's basically a katana blade on a stick, but they had to show up. They're ready to fight. A whole bunch of them. Immuter goes away, and Nana's like, yeah, whatever, thanks for nothing. And she's like, armed wind instrument, combat orchestration, pomp and circumstance them, which is great, honestly. Pomp and circumstance as a verb. It's good. But they start blasting away these fighters with heart waves to the tune of pomp and circumstance. We then cut over, finally, to Kyoto. And this is where Sagayama is. And he's jaw-jacking with Kaneo Takarada, the high school student council president. And he's basically like, look, you may have thought you were hot stuff in Kobe and Kyoto. Oh, but you're nothing here in Osaka. I said Kyoto, but they're in Osaka. Shit. Anyway, Sakayama was like, well, you've heard the rumors of the other cities, huh? That's interesting. I thought we cut off your information network. To which this guy says, yeah, but you have no power over the Osakan grannies. They'll spread a rumor in the blink of an eye. Even if you lock down the net, you can't stop a rumor. He's like, look, I want to tell you the rules of this town. Osaka here is a merchant town. It's money that makes this town go around. He who has the most coin wins. And he basically has a bunch of like money behind him while he's saying this. Sagayama says, money? That's dumb. You've come to break down those old systems, and if you're going to stand in our way, we're gonna beat your ass.
Yeah. Takarada is the best.
I like Takarada a lot.
Takarada's scenes in this episode and the next were actually used for my favorite Kill la Kill AMV.
Fair.
I'll link it to you sometime. It's hilarious. And I mentioned accents earlier. So for Takarada in the dub, they give him the voice, like the speaking pattern of someone who is desperately trying to sound like a gangsta. And it is amazing. It's very over the top and tongue in cheek, but it is great. It's fantastic.
Takarada says, that's adorable. You think that you can break down our old ways? You're naive. You're a naive thing. A guy who doesn't understand the fear of money shouldn't be offering opinions about society. I want to wake you up to the reality by smacking you in the face with wads of cash. He's like, come on, everybody, let him have it. A bunch of guys wearing uniforms that have a yen motif, a coin yen motif.
Yeah, they're wearing like the standard uniform, but like with a fucking gold coin headband.
Yeah. They show up with SMGs, and they load these SMGs with money. And just start shooting them at Sagayama and his brigaders. Sagayama's like, guns? To which one of his guys like, bills? They're shooting us with wads of bills as bullets. It's pretty good. They're literally using money as a weapon. Takarada says, I put my money where my mouth is. I've managed to make my point. Now get lost. Sagayama's like, wait, these don't feel like regular, like, Japanese yen. This is counterfeit. They're like, no, they're not counterfeit. They're Takarada bucks. Look.
Takarada bucks.
They're Takarada bucks. He's like, he doesn't quite say it here, but it basically makes it clear that, Satsuki isn't the only conglomerate in the world. The Kurins aren't the only conglomerate in the world. Takarada conglomerate is as good as gold here in Osaka, so his name carries the same weight as money, like even more so. He says it's even more valuable than that debt-ridden national currency that we have.
Social commentary from Kill la Kill.
Yes. He's like, but North Kanto, hick like you possibly could understand this. Sagaya was like, how dare you go about mocking Northern Kanto? I'll grind you up with some kind of root.
Konyaku
root. To which Takarada says, not if we turn you jerks and use jerks into takoyaki first. Jesus Christ, my fucking mouth. It's like, get him! So he starts firing more money. To which Sagayama calls up the ping pong club, who use ping pong paddles as shields to shield everybody. And then he calls upon the sumo club to hit them with a sumo shockwave. Which, this has all the animation quality of Inferno Cop. For those two movements. Because the sumo students just like kind of lift a leg and bring it down. And in uniform, all the students firing money at them just kind of fall over in a weird, but without actually breaking pose. It's weird. And this is when Sagayama calls upon... I'm sorry?
For this, I do like this episode, but it's definitely the writing and the voice acting that carries the episode.
Yeah.
Because the animation is not the best animation in the entire series.
I agree with that. Sagayama calls upon the Armed Archery Club and the Armed Track and Field Club ultra long range attacks. And they're throwing discus and spiked balls and shooting arrows and just breaking up these students. And he's like, alright, now let's storm the school building. And Takarada's like, over my dead body, force him back. And a force that matches Hinnouji Academy's own kind of wrestles with them a little bit. And Sagayama's like, what? How are they competing with Goku uniforms? To which Takarada says the Kurins aren't the only conglomerate around here. They don't underestimate the might of Takarada conglomerate's money. And they start actually pushing back Hinnouji Academy's forces, which causes explosions throughout the city. We cut over to the students who aren't necessarily a part of the fighting, like doing passing baseballs back and forth between each other in a line. This is where Mako, she's like, it's going to break my heart. I came all the way here to Osaka, and all I got to do was the stupid ball bucket brigade. This sucks. She notices the stand for takoyaki being strolled by a street vendor. She's like, oh my god, this is the thing you like. We get a classic Mako Hallelujah Light kind of rant here, and it's just about the awesome food in the Osaka area. And she's like, God, you have to come to Osaka and eat takoyaki. It's like the one thing you had to do. I sure wish that somebody would just throw money my way. And that's when she spots one of the students with the gun firing money at the Hinnouji Academy students. And he's like, haha, bastard, I'm going to send you straight to hell. And Mako's like, no, not hell. It's heaven. Go ahead. Shoot me. Come on. You don't toy with Mako when she sees something she wants. Shoot me. He's like, who the hell are you? And he starts shooting at her. And she catches all the money between her fingers. It's like, what? No way. She quickly runs off and she starts purchasing first takoyaki from the stand, but notices all the other food stands. And she's like, oh my god. I have to get all this food. I came all the way to Osaka, and this is the best part of Osaka. I have to have it all.
Osaka is actually very famous for its street food culture.
Oh yeah, I know.
And one of my personal thing is takoyaki. And takoyaki, if you haven't had it, is an extremely delicious food. And it's regrettable that I haven't had any since March.
I've had none since ever.
It's a chunk of octopus that's been dipped in like really thick batter, deep fried, and covered with Japanese mayonnaise and bulldog sauce.
Sounds pretty good.
And bonito flakes on top. Can you? If you've not had bulldog sauce, it's the same sauce you get with tonkatsu.
I haven't had that either.
Tonkatsu is a panko fried pork cutlet.
Oh, that sounds so good. I haven't eaten yet today, so I'm real hungry.
And bulldog is like a sweet, slightly spicy barbecue sauce. It's great.
Oh, that sounds great, actually.
You can also get katsu don, which is the same panko fried pork chop over rice with like sautéed onions and an egg. That basically they drop a raw egg on it, but the onions and pork are so hot that it cooks it. It like fries the egg.
Right.
And that's also fantastic. Can you tell that my special interest is cooking?
Yeah.
Because it is.
But Mako's like, this is like Food Victory Road. This is best. We cut back over to Kobe, and Gamagori's almost got this whole thing wrapped up. He's like, you're all that remained. Let's attack. They get blown away by a tank.
They brought a tank.
They brought
a fucking tank.
This tank is covered in meat. And the remaining student in his football uniform, the only one left in a football uniform, has also covered his uniform with meat.
Yes.
Like, haha, did we surprise you? It's a little something we had the Russian mafia smuggle in, which seems completely out of nowhere. Is Kobe known for having lots of Russian mafia ties?
Well, Russia's actually very close to Japan, and they have a complicated relationship.
Gotcha.
Because Russia is all the way over there.
Right. Anyway, he's like, I don't know about no Goku uniforms, but can clothes stand up to a tank? Haha. Whereas like, don't make me repeat myself. Our ironclad rules will tear through that armored tank as a mere, like it's paper. They throw more of the rule books and gets caught in the meat. It's like, yes. What do you think of this? The very latest in our Kobe specialty product, composite meat armor. Gross. Just a waste.
Yeah. Yes. If you're expecting, they wear armor. There's like armor on their bodies and on the tank made of raw Kobe beef.
Raw Kobe beef. He's like, God.
And if you're expecting me to make an aside about Kobe beef, I'm not going to because I've never tasted it and I know nothing about it.
I've had quote unquote Kobe, but I don't know if it's like actual Kobe.
I think
it was real good though. Oh,
Kobe beef is like Parmesan cheese and champagne. You are legally not allowed to call other things Kobe beef.
I mean, you're not legally allowed to, but
like an international law thing. Like there's a lot of international laws protecting regional foods.
But I want to like with everything that's illegal that people shouldn't do, people do it. So When I say I've had quote-unquote Kobe beef, it literally means like I've seen pictures of Kobe beef and the way it's marbled. The stuff I had, while good, did not have that like marbling.
I had a Wagyu beef either.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Wagyu. I might be thinking of Wagyu.
I know even less about Wagyu beef.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know even less about Wagyu beef because I don't even know where Wagyu is.
It comes from Wagyu cows in Japan.
Yeah, I suppose that would make sense.
That's where it comes from. So maybe I have had Kobe beef. Maybe I was thinking of Wagyu. I think I was thinking of Wagyu. Anyway, this guy's like, your hard ironclad rules or whatever get swallowed up by the beautiful Kobe beef marbling and melt away into nothing. Now be a good boy and surrender, Gamagori. Gamagori's like, ha! You think you can make me? Let's see you try. He's like, fine. Fire the tank. They fire at Gamagori, to which the Fortified Disciplinary Committee shows up. And these are the members of the raid trip, or at least Gamagori's branch of the raid trip, that have been given, Sanketsu pieces. And they pull out even bigger rule books, which bounce the tank shell back at the tank and blow it up. Everything is on fire. The students are like, oh, it's hot. But it's so good because they're eating the meat from the tank and the ground, because why waste it?
I mean,
it's good.
I wouldn't in most situations, but like, you do you.
You do you. Gamagori's like, all right, this is great. Now finish them. They throw these giant rule books at the remains of this tank and blow it the heck up. It's all blown up. And now, Gamagori's like, you've lost your trump card. Surrendered peacefully, Obayashi. And they do. They surrender peacefully while everybody's chewing on Kobe beef. This is when Ryuko busts in, hits Gamagori in the face with her motorcycle, which is really good. And instantly... Right in the face. It's good. And she instantly defeats all the students wearing pieces of her kamui. And she gathers them all up real fast. Throws them in her scissor case. And she's like, I came to get Sanketsu back. I don't have time to play with you. Bye. And just drives off. Gamagori's pissed, but what can he do? She's already gone. We cut over to Kyoto. And they are just still blasting away with pomp and circumstance. Which is, once again, these are the students that have been imbued with power by Sanketsu. Nanana's like, wow, adding the power of a kame lets you play such beautiful music together. This is great. I love it. And they basically knock the school down. They defeat the school. And Nanana's like, yep, that's it. That does it. But instantly, here comes Ryuko. She comes out of the rubble and spins around like a top to instantly, once again, defeat anybody wearing Sanketsu. Gathers it all up. Throws it in her case. And Nanana's like, transfer student, what are you doing here? She's like, I don't have time to mess around with you. And she runs away. And Nanana's like, what's with this shitty attitude? We cut back over to Sakiyama, who's fighting with the Osaka students. They have money swords? And he is instantly, like, just putting them down while talking to Satsuki over comms. So he's like, hey, Tell Satsuki that Osaka will be under control soon. To which Takarada comes out of hiding and says, hey, don't be so sure about that. Buddy, you are underestimating my power. It's not just the students that are my pawns. It's all of Osaka. And adults just jump out of nowhere with guns and rocket launchers, taking the money that Takarada is just throwing around. And they're like, hey, thanks for your business. Come again. Sakiyama was like, you're a bastard making, like, the common people fight for you. And he's like, I am indeed, but it's not quite accurate to call them the common masses. They're all combat citizens who have been blinded by money. Everyone in this town right now is itching to fight, and they're tough. Sakiyama was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? We cut over to the Sky Tower in Osaka.
I don't know if it has a specific name.
It does. I just can't pronounce it. It's Naniwa. I got nothing. But Mako's like, oh, it's the Sky Tower. You know, when you see something impossibly high, you just want to climb it. Of course you do. You want to get in that high place. She gets blown away, though, by a stray missile or rocket. It's pretty good. We cut back over to Sakiyama, who is just defending himself and the last of his remaining troops with his bamboo sword. Takarada's like, what you think of the Kanto, Takarada, and I Heart Osaka Brigade? If you want to save Osaka, if you want to take Osaka, you have to kill every last one of us. In the end, it's money that motivates folks. Haha. Sagayama's like, you heart it, huh? What sense there's no sense in that. You're destroying your own city. To which Takarada's like, yeah, we'll just rebuild afterwards. The contractors are going to fucking love this. This is great.
Which is an economic fallacy, actually.
Yep.
You can't do damage just to repair it. That is not a good economic growth.
It's not good economic growth at all. But he's like, okay, people, kill that man, and I'll give you 1,000,000 Takarada bucks. Make him suffer. Of course, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking do this. Sakayama's like, shit. While Takarada's like, hey, how are you gonna deal with all these people? And that's when a blinding light comes in. And who is it but Satsuki Kirin coming down from on high. She's ready to get in this fight. And everyone's like, oh man, Lady Satsuki. But we cut back over to Mako, who's still flying through the air after that stray rocket. And she's like, oh, that sucks. And everybody's fighting around her. She sees two Hinnouji Academy students wearing pieces of Sanketsu. And she's like, hey, that's Ryuko Sanketsu. And they're like, hey, wait a minute, Mako. What are you doing here? Are you deserted? You deserted us in the face of the enemy and have been goofing around? It's time to purge you from this raid trip. And she's like, oh no, I'm sorry. These jokers instantly get defeated by Ryuko showing up and defeating them with her motorcycle. She gathers up the rest of the pieces of Sanketsu and throws it in her case. Mako's like, oh my god, Sanketsu's been chopped up. He's like, and Ryoko's like, yeah, but I want to get him back. I'll take back every last piece and I'll make him as good as new. And Mako says, oh, I get it, Ryuko. You're going to such lengths because he's your only in uniform. Ryuko doesn't answer because Sanketsu says, hey, there's only one piece of me left. And Ryoko's like, really? What are you feeling? He's like, well, you're rather different, aren't you? She's like, how so? She's like, well, this is the only part of me that's giving you strength right now is this scarf. And meanwhile, you're just like instantly killing all the Goku uniforms like they're nothing. Don't you think you're even stronger than you were before? She's like, I'm getting stronger? Question mark. Mako says it's because you're going after what you desire most. You're so desperate because you're fixated on your desire to get Sanketsu back to normal. And Ryuko has to consider this. She's like, yeah, if anybody understands fixation, it's you. It's a great exchange. She doesn't say it out of like malice or anything. It's very cute. But she's like, all right, one to go. Can you tell where it is, Sanketsu? He's like, yeah, I can. However, it's being worn by Satsuki. It's the last fragment that's being held by her. Ryoko's like, Satsuki? Seriously? She's like, fine, I don't care who has it. I'm getting you back.
I forget what that part is called. It's the red glove. It's the
it's just like the it's the red glove.
Yeah.
Sanketsu's like, but in my current condition, I'm unable to transform into the life fiber synchronization mode. To which Ryuko says, that's fine. I'll make up the rest. Which is really great. It's a good line. I like it a lot. She's like, I'm not the usual Ryuko Matoi right now. I'm the Ryuko Matoi who's fixated by seeing what she wants most almost in reach. Isn't that right, Mako? She's like, I'm coming for you, Satsuki. She points her scissor blade towards the tower that Mako was walking to anyway. And that's where the episode ends. Good episode. Like it a lot.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I've said before how much I like the lead four characters, and this episode is mostly about the lead four.
Yep.
But we also get some great scenes with Ryuko and Mako. And because Ryuko is still the protagonist.
Yes.
And yeah, this might be my favorite episode of the series. At least one of my favorites. 1 second. Not just right now.
Go.
Okay, yeah. Great episode. Like I really do like this whole midsection of the series, the naturals election, and the the Kansai raid trip. This whole run of episodes is just fantastic, um, and again, I really like. I don't know if I can really say that I like this bunch of episodes more than the third part of the series, because the third part of the series is really good. It's just very different.
Right.
Um, but no, it's just good episodes, good fun.
Yeah, it's real good. Um, like I said, I really enjoy these episodes. I really like Ryoko's outfit for them.
Yeah,
I think it's really great. I just like the attitude that it has. I guess.
it's very her.
Yeah, it is just very, very her kind of outfit. Um, I'm not sure I have much else to say on it other than it's just a lot of fun. There's some good scenes, and I like Takarada, even though he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, but he's a dick in a fun way. He's not like
Yeah.
a creep, or he's not like a creep, or like even really. He's not even really an asshole because he's technically one of the good guys because he's opposed to the Kyoryuans.
I mean, yeah, technically.
And we've actually find out there's actually more we find out about him later on. Um, yeah, Takarada is actually not that bad of a guy.
Yeah, when you look at like the big picture,
Big
we just like the Elite Four, so he feels more like an asshole.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Because
So
yeah, there's other stuff that'd be spoilers for later episodes. Um, yeah. Next week we get the second half of this episode, which is more, which is more Takarada. Satsuki kind of pimps in, and Ryuko shows up. So just got like this whole thing. It just turns into a whole thing.
right, I know I said no wrestling this week, but I'm looking at Twitter, and I'm getting what I want. Thunder Rosa is going to get a shot at Sheeta's championship.
Nice.
I know I didn't. If you've never watched Thunder Rosa perform, she's the NWA champion, women's champion. I wouldn't watch NWA because Billy Corgan is a total asshole, has been an asshole, and has never apologized for what he's done. So, oh man. I know I said I wouldn't talk about it, but once again, I'm on Twitter, and wrestling is just on Twitter for me. And the team I wanted to win the Women's Cup, they won.
Nice.
I didn't think they were going to because I thought it was really built around a certain team winning, and they didn't win. Hey, this is good for me. I'm sorry. I just cut it. What were you saying? or were you done?
No, that was. Let's see. You thought it was the Nightmare Sisters that were getting the push, and it was someone else.
Yeah, it's Diamante and Ivelisse. They won.
Nice.
Which I thought they should. I thought they should have been the winners the whole time for this tournament because they have such a history together, and they did it. They won. I'm so happy.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. I don't know what else there to say about this episode. It's just good.
It's just a good episode. The next episode's also really good, so it'll be fun to talk about next week. With nothing else to talk about, hey Doc, where can people find you online if they want to talk to you about stuff?
Oh, I am on Twitter way too much. I'm at Dr. Sea Monster. That is at DRC Monster. Come and find me on Twitter, where you can see me retweeting magic spoilers.
Yeah. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at ThatFirePrincess, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on my numerous podcasts, such as Pining for the Falls, the podcast that is just like this, but for Gravity Falls. We have a lot of fun with that. I think this week we're on The Land Before Swine, which is a Waddles episode. It's real cute.
Yes. It is Waddles. It is focused on Waddles and Stan and Mabel.
Yes.
And the episodes where Stan and Mabel interact are always pretty interesting.
They're always pretty good. I like them a lot. But, yeah, I think that's everything. So, until next time... Oh, there is actually one thing I wanted to say about this episode. Because I'm about to say, don't lose your way. But, the way that cuts into the, final scene with Ryuko looking towards the tower, that is way too loud for that scene.
A little bit.
You almost can't hear Ryuko talk.
Sound mixing.
Anyway, until next time, remember, don't lose your way.
Don't lose your way.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. Or better yet, a Sanketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a life fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley doc eating by the mouthful. I'm not trying to be one star like most artists. I worked the hardest, I started this journey broken hearted. And consequently I went the farthest, hit every target with a flow tighter than shackle regalia bondage. It's time for natural selection, I'm back and I'm focused.